Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2. Test 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. And good afternoon and welcome inside Nobby's Ballpark. It's breakfast at the Knob this morning as Case Western Reserve with an early morning wake-up will take on Brandeis in the final game of a four-game series as the Spartans aiming for the sweep today against the Judges in this four-game series. Good evening, good morning, everybody, and welcome inside Nobby's Ballpark. I'm John Schwartz, bringing you play-by-play for today's game, the final one of the four-game series. The Spartans sweeping a doubleheader yesterday to claim wins in each of the first three contests, and now we'll look for the completion of the sweep here as they take on the Judges. Brandeis 4-16 on the season, 0-3 so far in UAA play, and let's go ahead without further ado and get you their batting order. Jake Freed, the graduate student transfer from Oberlin, will be leading things off. He'll be followed by Mike DiCenzo, batting second and playing second. Eddie Zahner, a transfer from Wesleyan, hits third. And then Brian King, the graduate student third baseman, in the cleanup spot. Connor Crowley playing center field and batting fifth. Henry Aaronwald, the designated hitter, bats sixth. Matt Chafin, the shortstop, hitting seventh. He'll be followed in the order by C.J. Dunston, who gets his first start of the series behind home plate. He'll bat eighth, and then Evan Reef, the left fielder, batting ninth. Sean Decker-Jacoby will be the pitcher for Brandeis today. We'll tell you more about the senior righty when he takes the hill in the bottom of the inning. For the Spartans defensively, first baseman is Dane Camphausen. Second baseman is Franco Alonso. The shortstop is Nate Arterburn, and at third base, James Powers. In the outfield, Jay Smith getting the start in left. The center fielder is Logan Andreyko, and the right fielder will be Nick Harms. Doing the catching is Jack Anderson, and on the mound is the first-year Tyler Stilson. Stilson 3-0 on the year through three starts, four total appearances. He's got a 4.96 ERA in 16 and a third innings. He's given up 18 hits for a 286 opponent's batting average. He has struck out 21, walked 13, and is set to get things going on a sunny Sunday morning here at Cleveland, Ohio, as Stilson takes the mound, and we are underway with the first pitch of the game, down and into Freed, 1-0. Freed's had himself a nice series. He's hitting a 284 overall on the season with 2 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Freed 4 for 12 so far in the series and takes a called strike there, 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch, and lifted in the air, center field, deep but playable for Andreyko, who gets underneath it and puts it away for the out, one gone. Stilson, the right-handed pitcher, 6'3", 185 pounds, out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And a called strike taken by DiCenzo. It's 0-1. DiCenzo making his second straight start for Brandeis. 1 for 3 so far in the series. And that one up and in for a ball. It's 1-1. Stilson getting the start here in the fourth game of the series. And he goes around. It's 1-2 as Stilson with the breaking ball gets the swing and miss from DiCenzo. DiCenzo, the senior, hitting a 190 on the season, 4 for 21. He's driven in a pair of runs. All 4 of his hits have been singles thus far. And he swings to the inside pitch. Hits it softly down the third baseline. Powers can't glove it. And on at first, reaching on an error, will be DiCenzo. And so runner on with 1 away here in the inning. Would have been a tough play for Powers, but one he would have gotten, I think, if he fields it cleanly. I think Powers rushing things a little bit there. Kind of came up on the ball, ready to throw it before he had it in his glove. And so the runner is on now for Eddie Zahner. Zahner, the first baseman, hitting a 275 on the year, 3 for 11. Been a bit of a struggle for him throughout the weekend offensively. He's batting at just .083, 1 for 12 so far in the series. Called strike, and it's 0-2. Again, a beautiful sunny day. Temperatures should get up into the 50s by midday. May not make it that far in this game, though, as have a nice cold morning here, or at least a chilly morning, as Zahner goes down swinging. A 3-pitch strikeout for Stilson for the second out of the inning. And that will bring Brian King to the plate. King, the graduate student, played his undergraduate career at Brandeis as well. He's hitting at .211 on the year, 1 home run, 8 runs batted in. And a hard liner hit toward short. Arterburn fields on a hop, goes a short way to second, where Alonso waits and puts it away for the out, and that will end the inning. So a quick inning for Stilson, who works around a 1-out error, and we'll move along into the bottom of the first with the score still 0-0. And let's go ahead and get you the batting order for Case Western Reserve, similar to what we've seen in the past few games. It'll be Logan Andreyko, the center fielder, leading things off. He'll be followed by Jack Anderson, who is just 1 hit away from 200 for his career. James Powers, the third baseman, hits third, and then Nick Harms playing right field and hitting cleanup. Dean Camphausen, the first baseman, batting fifth today. Zach Carinci, the designated hitter, hitting sixth. Franco Alonso playing second base and batting seventh. Jay Smith, the left fielder, hitting eighth. And Nate Arterburn, the shortstop, will bat ninth. Again, for Case Western Reserve, it's Andreyko, Anderson, Powers, Harms, Camphausen, Carinci, Alonso, Smith, and Arterburn. Defensively for Brandeis, at first base, Eddie Zahner. Second baseman, Mike DiCenzo. The shortstop is Matt Chafin. And the third baseman is Brian King. He's looked good at third so far this series. In the outfield, Evan Reef in left. Center fielder is Connor Crowley, and the right fielder is Jake Freed. Doing the catching, C.J. Dunston getting the start behind home plate today. And on the mound is the senior, Sean Decker-Jacoby, a right-handed pitcher. Decker-Jacoby is 1-4 on the season with a 5.23 ERA. That's the best among Brandeis starters this year. He's making his 8th appearance overall, his 6th start of the year. He's gone 32 2/3 innings total, giving up 42 hits for a .323 opponent's average. He has struck out 28, but walked 15, and like a lot of Brandeis pitchers we've seen this weekend, he's had to deal with a lot of traffic on the base paths. That being said, Brandeis' staff has pitched fairly well this weekend. And again, mentioned it before, it's a Brandeis team that, gave up a lot of runs in UAA play last season. And so I think if you're the judges, you have to be happy with how your staff has performed thus far this weekend against the Spartans. As they've certainly, again, they've lost all 3 games, but their pitching has really been what's kept them in these games so far. And so as we get set to begin the bottom of the inning, the Spartans will look once again to jump out in front of the judges early. The Spartans scored in the first inning of both games yesterday. They scored 5, including 4 and a grand slam by Dane Camphausen against Brandeis in the first game of the doubleheader yesterday. 2 in the bottom of the first of the second game, including a solo home run by Nick Harms. Logan Andreyko set to lead things off here. Andreyko hitting at .308 on the year. He's been in a little bit of a slump lately. See if he can break out of it. Andreyko hitting a .182 in the series so far, just 2 of 11. Hits that one, though, through the hole for a base hit. So aggressive first pitch swinging. Andreyko is able to pick up the single on the first pitch he sees on the day, and he's on. And certainly a stolen base threat here for the Spartans. Opponents have stolen 6 bases on 7 attempts with Dunston behind the plate, and we'll see if Andreyko has stolen 6 bases on as many attempts this year as running here with Jack Anderson at the plate. Anderson looking for his 200th career hit. He sits 1 away from 200 currently. And he'll have it. That's a base hit to left field, and Jack Anderson becomes the fourth player in program history to collect 200 hits as a Spartan. And Draco moves up
To CWRU graduate student Jack
to third on the play on the 200th career hit for Anderson.
the fourth player in program history.
And again, Anderson,
200 career hits in a Spartan uniform.
a
Congratulations.
tremendous job over his career, continues what is a strong season. The All-American will get that ball to add to his collection. And meanwhile, for the Spartans, back-to-back hits to start the game, and now it's first and third with nobody out. And the batter is James Powers. So congratulations to Jack, who is able to pick up the milestone here. And now Powers at the plate. Powers just 1 for 10 in the series. So he struggled a little bit this weekend. Again, some of the better bats for this Spartan team have not been hitting this weekend. Trying to break out of a bit of a slump here. Mentioned it before, but Brandeis has done a good job, really pitching this weekend overall. It's an 0-1 count now on Powers, who is hitting at .358 overall for the season. Anderson fakes the go from first. Is the pitch taken outside for a ball? It's now 2-1, excuse me. Two and 1 the count. Here's the pitch, down and away for a ball. And the count now goes to 3-1, and Decker Jacoby, a ball away from loading the bases for Nick Harms, who has already connected for 2 home runs this weekend. 3-1 on the way. And he swings at the 3-1, grounds it through the left side of the infield for a base hit. Coming in to score is Andraco. It's an RBI single for Powers, as he goes the opposite way, swinging 3-1. And the Spartans take the early 1-0 lead. So 3 straight hits to start the game for Case Western Reserve, and now it'll be up to Nick Harms to keep the line moving. Harms having himself a great series so far. He's hitting at .316 overall in the season, 6 home runs and 35 runs batted in. He's 6 for 9 so far this weekend with 2 doubles and 2 home runs. He's driven in 4. He takes the first pitch. It's an off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1. 2 on, nobody out. Good speed on the base paths with 2 of the team's stolen base leaders, Anderson and Powers, at second and first respectively. Here's the 0-1 on the way to Harms. Fastball called a strike on the outside corner, 0-2. Now the 0-2 on the way. Decker Jacoby looking for his first out of the game. He delivers to Harms, and that one well outside, 1-2. In the first game of the doubleheader yesterday, the first 5 Spartans reached in the game, culminating with that Dane Camphausen grand slam. Camphausen waiting out on deck currently. Decker Jacoby sets. Here's his 1-2, and it's swung on, and just getting a piece of it to stay alive is Harms, as the count stays at 1-2 on Nick. Again, another really good season for Nick Harms, even though, the batting average just starting to pop up here a little bit after 2 solid weekends in a row. Back over 300 now as the runners were going. Anderson caught in a rundown. He's going to try to get to third, but he won't. And moving up to second on the play is Powers, but that will go as a caught stealing for Jack Anderson. First time he's been caught stealing this season. And that'll be the first out of the inning. So 1 away now. Runner at second base and Harms at the plate. He awaits his 1-2, and he swings and bounces it towards third. King has it, throws on to first to get the out. Powers forced to hold at second base. And all of a sudden, 2 quick outs there by the judges. And with 2 away, that'll bring Dane Camphausen to the plate. So this inning, only about 60 seconds ago, looked considerably more menacing for Decker Jacoby on the mound, but after allowing the first 3 batters of the inning to reach all on hits, he gets a caught stealing and now a ground out and a chance to escape with just the 1 run in. First pitch misses inside to Camphausen, and it's 1-0. Dane's batting at .351 on the year. He has 9 home runs, 36 runs batted in this season for Camphausen. He leads the team in both of those categories. That one well outside, and it's 2-0. Camphausen saw a stretch of 4 straight games with a home run come to an end in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday. He's batting at .400 with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs in the series. Here's the 2-0. Outside for a ball, and it's 3-0. And if you're Decker Jacoby here, you might be content to just throw one out of the strike zone, see if Camphausen goes reaching for it 3-0. If not, you let him take first base and smile and move on to the next batter the way that Camphausen's hitting. And that's inside, ball 4. So Camphausen draws the walk, and it's first and second now. With 2 away for Zach Carinci. Carinci hitting at .266, 1 home run, 10 runs batted in this year. First pitch takes a big cut at it as it tails away from him, and he comes up empty, 0-1. Carinci 3 for 10 in the series. He's driven in 1. One of his 3 hits a double. Another swing and a miss at a pitch tailing away, 0-2. Powers has been dancing off that bag at second base, and with that last swing by Carinci, I wonder if that's a little distracting for Zach at the plate. That's not a swing you typically see him take. And a called strike 3 as that one catches the outside corner, and Decker Jacoby does a good job avoiding further damage in the inning as he gets the strikeout to end it. 1 run on 3 hits for the Spartans. They leave 2 men stranded, and we'll move along into the second. It's a 1-0 lead for Case Western Reserve. Crowley, Aaronwald, and Chafin due up when we come back. Swing and a miss on the first pitch by Crowley. And it's an 0-1 count on the Brandeis center fielder. It'll be Connor Crowley, Henry Aaronwald, Matt Chafin due up. 5, 6, and 7 in the judge's order to face Tyler Stilson, who's now working with a 1-run lead. And a called strike brings the count to 0-2. 1-0 Spartans. 3 straight hits to start the game, including the 200th of Jack Anderson's career. The 0-2 swung on, ground ball to third, handled there by Powers. Has plenty of time to make the throw to first to get the out, and there's 1 away. You don't often get this in Division III, but today has the feel, with the early start and everything else, of a getaway day that you often see in baseball where, you play 2 night games in a row. The third game of the series starts at noon, and teams come out swinging, getting ready to try to get on to their next stop. And again, you don't get that a lot at this level, but it just kind of has a little bit of that feel today. In the early start, Brandeis with an early flight out of town, so getting going a little early here to make sure they can get a complete game in. The game, no inning, can start in the game after 1:30. That's the getaway time for the judges, but we should have plenty of time to get that game in, barring a lot of runs being scored. Swing and a miss by Aaronwald, and it's 2-2. Henry Aaronwald batting at .208 on the year, 10 for 48 with a run batted in. Hitting at .333 for the series, 2 for 6, but takes a called strike there, and he's down looking. So 2 quickly retired here in the second for the judges. And the batter coming to the plate is the shortstop, first-year shortstop, Matt Chafin. Chafin batting at .180 on the year. And it's a called strike, 0-1 on Chafin. That one's foul back, 0-2. And so Stilson a strike away from a quick inning. He settles in. Here's his 0-2 pitch. Down low for a ball, 1-2. Good waste pitch there for Stilson, trying to get Chafin to chase. Let's see if he comes back with a fastball here. Stilson rocks and delivers. It's a changeup, swung on and grounded over to short. Arterburn with it, throws to first in plenty of time. And a very quick 1-2-3 inning for Stilson, who will send the bats back up to the plate here in the second inning for the Spartans. Bottom of the order, Alonso, Smith, and Arterburn due up when we come back. Bottom of the order for the Spartans is we get set here in the second inning. Case Western Reserve leading 1-0. Alonso, Smith, and Arterburn to face Decker Jacoby on the mound, who gave up hits to the first 3 batters of the game he faced, but then settled in and retired the next 2, got help with a caught stealing, and escaped the inning without any further trouble. Ground ball, third base side foul, and it's 1-1 now on Alonso. Franco Alonso at the plate, a .325 hitter on the season. He has 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Getting the start at second today. Alonso hitting at .364 in the series. He's 4 of 11 so far this weekend. got jammed on that one and fouled it back, and it's now 1-2. Franco Alonso, the graduate transfer from Cornell. He's been a good addition to this team. They've been able to play him at second base, where he's been solid defensively. We've seen him a little at short and third. 1-2. Swung on chopper. Hit back towards the middle. Could be a base hit if Alonso hurries to the bag. He gets there, and he's just in time as Alonso legs it out for an infield single. The throw pulled the first baseman off the bag, but Alonso kind of forced that with the way that ball was hit, and so that'll go as a single to short. Fourth hit of the game for the Spartans, and that'll bring Jay Smith to the plate with nobody out and a runner on. Smith getting his first at bat of the series, and Jay's one of those guys who maybe trying to find his way back into the lineup here. He got off to a bit of a slow start to the year, and due to the success of a couple of the other guys in the lineup, Smith's found himself as the odd man out right now. But Jay is a guy who is a good contact hitter, gets bat to ball. He's not a guy who's going to have overwhelming power, but that's not what this team really needs right now. If Smith can find his way as a reliable hitter at the plate, even if he's just dropping in base hits, that could go a long way to lengthen this lineup. Decker Jacoby working quickly, delivers another one down low. It's now 3-0, and Smith 3-0 here. We'll see what he's doing. Jay, 2 walks on the season. He's had just 14 at-bats. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And he's taking and takes it high, ball 4. And that will put 2 on in a potential sacrifice bunt situation for Nate Arterburn.
Number 4, the shortstop, Nate Arterburn.
Arterburn looks down at third base. Gets the signs from head coach Matt Englander. We've seen certainly Arterburn lay down plenty of sacrifice bunts this season, but he's also the kind of guy who could pull one back and slap one through for a base hit. Here's squaring a bunt and gets that one down foul, and it's 0-1. Arterburn, a good bunter. He's got a pair of sacrifice bunts on the season, but capable of bunting for a base hit as well. We saw him bunt one to the first base side yesterday looking for a base hit. Here's the 0-1 offering. He tries to bunt again. This one down the third base line, but will roll foul, and it's 0-2. Arterburn hitting at .250 on the year. He's been mired in a little bit of a slump, as again, you can expect that from him, but the big thing for Nate is that, again, he does a lot of things for this lineup. Certainly plays great defense at short. He's a really good 9-hitter because of his bunting ability. So even though he's not producing offensively at the moment, he's still doing a lot right. That one bunted. Will it stay fair? And it will just roll foul, and that'll be strike 3. Boy, Arterburn kind of shaking his head a little as he'll head back to the dugout there. He rolled that probably about as good as you can with it still going foul, but that was very, very close to just hugging that line, sitting right on it, and it just had a little bit of extra on it. It's one of those balls, if you're playing on a grass infield, that one is probably going to be a bunt single for Arterburn. So with 1 away now, runners at first and second, and Logan Andraco will be the batter. He takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. Andraco singled on the first pitch he saw of the game in his first at bat, eventually coming around to score on a James Powers base hit. That one rolls away, and it's a 1-1 count. One and one away. Swung on, fouled away again, and it's 1-2. So once again, Decker Jacoby getting into some trouble early in the inning, but a chance to work his way through it here. He's got some tough hitters to get through, including Andraco at the plate. Alonso takes his steps off of second. Smith from first. And Jacoby will look them both back. Here's the pitch. And staying alive as he sends that one foul is Andreyko, 1-2. Jack Anderson waiting out on deck. And that ball sent in the air, left field, pretty deep, going back, reaching up and making the catch as the left fielder Reef for the out. Tagging from second and going to third is Alonso. He'll get in safely without a throw as the ball rolls away from the shortstop Chafin on the cutoff. So Andreyko flies out for the second out of the inning, but it'll be first and third now with two away, for Jack Anderson. So with runners on the corners and 2 outs, you'll see C.J. Dunston step out to signal to his infielders as to how they'll want to play it if Smith decides to run. I could see the Spartans being conservative here with runners on the corners, although nobody covering second base. They'll essentially cede the base to Smith if he runs here. It'll be tough for someone to get over there and cover. There really isn't anyone super close to the bag right now with Anderson at the plate. And so I wouldn't be shocked to see Smith running in this situation. He's not running yet as Anderson swings and misses, and it's 1-1. Jack collected the 200th hit of his career in the first inning of the game. Again, 4th Spartan in program history to do so. The other 3, Andrew Gronsky, Chad Mullins, and Matt Keene. Those are 3 pretty good names to be associated with. Gronsky and Mullins, both All-Americans. Keene, a really, really good player in his own right. That one, line center field, base hit. So hit number 201 for Anderson comes with a little less fanfare than 200, but it drives a run in, and the Spartans go ahead 2-0. And it's now first and second with 2 away for James Powers, who collected his second hit of the weekend and drove in a run back in the first inning. Powers now hitting at .364. The RBI was his team, now third on the team with 34 on the season. He takes the breaking ball for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And checks his swing at the fastball that misses outside. 1-1. Swing and a miss, but the ball gets behind the catcher, and moving up to second and third respectively are Anderson and Smith. And so now with a 1-2 count, a chance for Powers to drive in 2 with a base hit. Powers is a good 2-strike hitter. And a lot of that has to do with he shortens up that swing with 2 strikes. That one sent down the line and right, and that's going to be down for extra bases as it gets into the corner. The 2 runners will score easily. Powers trots into the second with his team leading 12th double of the season. He's got 36 RBIs to tie him for the team lead now. And the Spartans increase their lead. It's now 4-0. Well, the Spartans bats showing up here today, and you could see the difference in production from the top 3 in the lineup today and the difference that it's made. Again, Andreyko, Anderson, and Powers have not been hitting well this series coming into today as Harms takes that one for a ball. Harms grounded out to first in his third in his first at bat. You know, they have not been hitting well, but today, so far, 5 for 6 with 4 RBIs at the plate. And so A good sign there. That one grounded to second, should end the inning. Over with it is DiCenzo. Throws on to Zahner at first. And that will end the second. But the Spartans strike for 3 more runs. They're on top now 4-0 over Brandeis. We'll move along into the third. And a 4-0 game. 8-9-1 for the judges. Dunston, Reef, and Freed due up when we come back. Case Western Reserve with the early lead in this one. C.J. Dunston at the plate takes ball 1-0. The Spartans on top 4-0 after 2 innings. It'll be the bottom of the Brandeis order with the 8-hitter Dunston, the 9-hitter Reef, and then the leadoff hitter Jake Freed to follow. Now 2-0 the count. Spartans off to a good start here in support of Tyler Stilson, who's looking for his 4th win in as many starts this year. That one misses outside 3-0. Stilson's done a good job working in the strike zone against Brandeis today. Again, that's been a focus of this team this weekend. The Spartans have done, for the most part, a pretty good job of that. Called strike on the inside corner. Again, you want to try to, especially on a day like today, just keep throwing strikes. Dunston 2 for 10 on the season, 1 for 1 in the series, fouls that one back, and it's now full count 3-2. Justin Keeler had started each of the previous 3 games for the judges. We did see Dunston come in as a defensive replacement and again got 1 at bat earlier in the week. And he swings and misses there for strike 3. So a good job to battle back by Stilson. Gets the strikeout on the high fastball. That's his 3rd strikeout of the game, and it's the 1st out of the 3rd. So Evan Reef now the batter. Reef, the left-handed hitter. Batting at .071 on the year. He's 1 for 14 so far this season with 1 run batted in. He squares to bunt here, gets it down the third base side. Powers with it. Has to avoid Stilson there and can't get it out of his glove. And that'll go as an infield hit for Reef.
Now batting right fielder number 21, Jake Freed.
On the bunt attempt, and so the runner is on now with 1 away, and that ball sent in the air deep towards left center field, going back, and Smith can't get to it. It drops in between Smith and Andraco. Pulling it to third base is Reef, and Freed with another hit. He has had a really good series. The graduate transfer from Oberlin with a double there to left center field, and it's now 2nd and 3rd with 1 away. And the batter will be Mike DiCenzo, who reached on an error in his first at bat. DiCenzo now hitting him 182 on the year. Spartans will cheat in on the corners here against DiCenzo, as that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Brandeis could get back into this game quickly. That ball fought off down the first base side, fouling out of play, and it's 1-1. Game 4 between the Spartans and the Judges. The Spartans have won the first 3. Called strike, and it's 1-2. Yesterday, among the 18 trips to the plate by the Judges, 18 innings, the Judges only scored in one of them. They scored 3 runs in the 6th inning of the second game yesterday. That one fouled back, and the count stays at 1-2 on DiCenzo. Other than that, it was an 8-0 shutout in the first game. And so the Judges looking to get their bats going, have a chance here to half the lead by the Spartans with a base hit from DiCenzo. 1 away, 2 on. DiCenzo, important for him to make contact here. With a 2-strike count, the Spartans will pull the infield in. And DiCenzo sprays that one foul. The count stays at 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Chop foul. And it remains a 1-2 count. And a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt for strike 3. First base is open, so DiCenzo will have to run that one out. Anderson completes the play, and that is a huge strikeout for Stilson, as the runners have to hold at second and third. A good job, by the way, by Anderson to both block that ball and then look the runner back to third before throwing to first. And so now 2 away for Eddie Zahner. Zahner struck out swinging on 3 pitches in his first at-bat. He swings at that one, grounds it to second. Over there is Alonso, who will throw to first in time to get Zahner for the out. And that ends the inning. So an infield single and a double against Stilson in the inning. The first 2 hits of the day for Brandeis, but nothing to show for it as Stilson gets the final 2 outs of the frame without the 2 runs coming across, and the Spartans will take a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the third. Camphausen, Carinci, and Alonso due up when we come back. Dane Camphausen to lead things off, and he hammers that one deep towards left field. If it's fair, it's gone, and it is foul. Boy. He just missed his 10th home run of the season. Camphausen pulled that one down the line. And like I said, it wasn't a question of distance. It was a question of location, whether or not that one was going to be out of here. So Decker Jacoby will take a deep breath on the mound and try to reset. Camphausen retreats to the box and awaits the 0-1 pitch. And he holds up on that one, but takes it for a called strike at the knees. It's 0-2. So a long foul ball by Camphausen, who continues to just crush the baseball. Swing and a miss there, though, and that's strike 3. So Decker Jacoby does a good job to recover and gets the out. So there's one gone, and Zach Carinci will be the batter. Carinci 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking in his first at bat. Mentioned the first time around that Carinci may be distracted a little bit by Powers at second base. We'll see if he gets some better cuts here against Decker Jacoby, his second time at the plate. As that one grounded softly towards short. There to get it is Chafin, and no play at first. It's an infield hit for Carinci. So Carinci didn't get a lot of that one, but it was a slow roller, and Carinci, who runs well, able to beat it out. And so he's on at first. We'll see if he's running here. Carinci 7 for 10 on stolen base attempts this year. 7 hits for the Spartans now through the first 2 1/3 innings of this game. The Spartans swing the bats well so far after really, through the first 3 games of the series, not really piling the runs on. Called strike to Franco Alonso, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He's now batting at .333 on the year. It's been a nice weekend for Alonso, who's collected hits in bunches throughout the series. Runner goes. The pitch misses inside. The throw is over to second base, nowhere near in time. And it's a stolen base for Carinci. So Carinci now at second, with 1 away. Chance for Alonso to drive him in. A lot of space on the right side of the infield if Alonso can take one the other way. One misses inside, 2-1. Alonso certainly showed the ability to go the other way with the baseball this season. His 2 home runs on the year, both came in the same game, were both opposite field home runs. Called strike, and it's 2-2. You can see the second baseman DiCenzo hurrying after covering the bag to get into that hole, try to make up a little bit of distance, but be hard for him to track something down to the right side of the infield. Decker Jacoby looks the runner back. Carinci retreats to second base. 2-2 on the way to Alonso. And a swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt, strike 3. And that's the second out of the inning. For Decker Jacoby, that's his 4th strikeout of the game. Spartans a little bit more free swinging today against Decker Jacoby than they've been so far this series. Jay Smith, the batter now. Smith drew a walk in his first at bat, eventually came around to score a run. And foul tips a first pitch fastball back. It's 0-1. 4 runs across so far for the Spartans here today. They lead 4-0. Another RBI opportunity with 2 outs and Carinci at second. Smith, though, now falls behind in the count after taking a called strike. It's 0-2. And a ball makes it a 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That ball drifted into the air, right center field, and it's down for extra bases for Smith. Coming across to score will be Carinci. Smith pulls into second base with a double, his first extra base hit of the year. It's his 3rd RBI, and the Spartans increase their lead to 5-0. So Well, good to see Jay Smith getting in the act here. And now he's in scoring position for Nate Arterburn. And that one swung on and driven through the right side for a base hit. Smith waved around third. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he will stop and head back, but the throw goes all the way to the backstop. And moving up to second on the throw is Arterburn. Smith stops at third. And there'll be two in scoring position now for Logan Andreyko. And that will bring the pitching coach for Brandeis out to have a talk here with Decker Jacoby, who had a chance for his first scoreless inning of the day. But instead, he's in trouble here again in the third. There were 2 outs and a runner at second base after Jacoby struck out Franco Alonso, but a double by Jay Smith. Now a single by Arterburn. It's second and third. And coming to the plate is Andreyko, who's 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in the first inning. You certainly can't. You certainly can't walk Anderson here intentionally with, pardon me, you can't walk Andreyko here intentionally with Anderson waiting out on deck. Nine hits already for the Spartans in this one. And Andreyko takes the off-speed pitch down the middle for a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. And he swings, hits that towards the gap in left center field, and that'll drop in for a base hit. In to score is Smith. Arterburn follows him, and the Spartans increase their lead to 7-0 on a 2 RBI single for Andreyko, who's now driven in 9 this year. And it has been all Spartans so far. That is their 4th hit of the inning. Andreyko drives in 2 more, and now Jack Anderson to the plate. Anderson 2 for 2 today with a pair of base hits. Swings and misses at the first pitch. Looked like a changeup there that Anderson swung over the top of, and it's 0-1. Jack hitting at .381 on the season, 3 home runs, 16 now runs batted in with an RBI single in his last trip to the plate. 1 run in the first, 3 in the second, 3 across so far here in the third for the Spartans, who lead 7-0. Another swing and a miss at a fastball that time that tailed away. And it's 0-2. Down and away, ball 1, 1-2 the count. Anderson holding up that time. We saw Jack as the designated hitter in yesterday's second game. He eventually came in to catch the 9th inning. A ball in the dirt, and it's 2-2. And the other UAA series going on this weekend, it's NYU and Emory. That series, Emory took the first and third games. NYU with a win in the middle. And a called strike 3 as Decker Jacoby snuck the fastball by Anderson, and that'll end the inning. But the Spartans with 3 runs on 4 hits, and they'll increase their lead to 7-0. King Crowley and Aaron Wall due up for Brandeis in the 4th. It's 4, 5, and 6 in their order due up when we come back. Brian King has had himself a nice series both offensively and defensively. Takes ball one there. Grounded into fielder's choice to end the first inning in his first at bat. Takes a called strike and the count goes even 1-1. King now 3 for 11 in the series with an RBI. Played great defense at third base. The graduate student was an undergrad at Brandeis as well. Takes that down low, 2-1. He's saved a handful of runs this weekend for the Judges. Really good defensive player at third. Breaking ball down the middle by Stilson for a strike, and it's now 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. And Stilson missed outside with that one. I think he tried to pick off the outside corner, but smothered that pitch a little too much, and it misses down and out. So full count, 3-2 on the first batter of the fourth inning. King for Brandeis. That ball lifted in the air, deep towards left field. Going back is Smith, still going back, looking up, and it's off the base of the wall. Smith tracks it down out there, gets it in quickly enough to hold King to a double, but King's nice weekend continues as he has a double to left center field to start off the fourth against Stilson. You know, that's one of those with a 7-run lead. You can live with those if you're Stilson, as long as, again, you just want to keep working in that strike zone. Swung on chopper, back up towards Stilson. The runner, King, retreats to second, and Stilson throws to first. I'm not sure that's the wrong move there by King to go back to second base, but Stilson was not paying attention to him at all, and I think if King wanted to move up, he had a chance there. I think the way Stilson thinking about it, it's the right move, is, hey, you've got that 7-run lead. Just get your one out. If that run comes around to score, that doesn't kill you there, and Stilson gets the best of both worlds in this case. Breaking ball misses down and away for a ball now to Aaronwald, and it's 1-0. So after the Crowley ground out, back to Stilson. Aaronwald trying to drive in the runner from second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, the needs for a strike, 1-1. Again, an early start today if you're just joining us. First pitch was at 9:30 in the morning. Here's the 1-1. Ball hit towards second, backhanded by Alonso, who throws on to first to get the second out of the inning. King moves up 90 feet to third with 2 away. And now with 2 outs, that'll bring Matt Chafin to the plate. Chafin 0 for 1 with a ground out to short, batting at 177 on the year. Brandeis has left 3 runners stranded so far. In danger of another one here as that one's hit out to right field. Harms barely has to move to put it away. And another quick inning for Stilson. We're through 3.5 in the Spartans. All over this one, it's 7-0. We'll move to the bottom of the fourth. Heart of the order for Case Western Reserve. Powers, Harms, and Camphausen when we come back. 7-0 Spartans as we begin the fourth with the heart of the order, Powers, Harms, and Camphausen. For Case Western Reserve against Decker Jacoby. First pitch popped up behind short. Back to get it is Chafin, and he puts it away for the first out of the inning. So a pop out for Powers. First time he's been retired today was 2 for 2 with a single, double, and 3 RBIs prior to that. He'll head back to the dugout now, and Nick Harms will be the batter. Harms 0 for 2. Harms the only Case Western Reserve batter so far in this game. And mind you, we're just in the top of the fourth. The only Case Western Reserve batter that has not reached base at least once in this game. See if he can turn that around here. And first pitch he sees, he fouls away. Again, Harms came into the game red hot in this series. He was hitting 6 of 9 for a .667 average. 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 5 runs scored in the series. He's also walked 3 times. But 0 for 2 in this one, and swings and misses, and now it's an 0-2 count on Harms. So he's in a hole. The 0-2 from Decker Jacoby, and Harms just got a piece of that to stay alive. Count stays at 0-2. Ball 1. 1-2 now the count. Ground ball, second base. Another opportunity for DiCenzo, who retires. Harms for the second out of the inning.
Stepping up to bat, number 40, the first baseman, Dane Camphausen.
And so 2 away, bases empty now for Dane Camphausen. Is Decker Jacoby looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Camphausen 0 for 1 with a walk so far today. He struck out in his last at bat in the third as he swings and misses at that pitch, 0-1. The strikeout in the third inning came after Camphausen torched a ball down the left field line that just went foul over the fence. Swings and misses at a breaking ball there, and it's 0-2. But you're at a point right now, if you're an opposing pitcher, you cannot make a mistake to Camphausen. He'll make you pay for it. The 0-2 pitch. Outside, it's 1-2. Not only is Decker Jacoby looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game, he's looking for his first scoreless inning of the game. Chance here with a 1-2 count on Camphausen. He swings and chops it foul. Count stays at 1-2. Decker Jacoby now 76 pitches, 50 of them strikes through the first 3 2/3 innings of work. Here's his 1-2 pitch. That ball lifted into the air, right center field, deep, and it's off the base of the wall. And Camphausen will trot into second base with a 2-out double. And again, you just watch what Dane does, and it's unbelievable. That is a ball hit deep to the gap in right center field, and it's just one of those that you don't see a lot of right-handed hitters do at this level. But Camphausen on now. He's in scoring position for Zach Carinci, who singled and scored a run back in the third. Carinci now hitting a .273 first pitch. Swings and fouls it back. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Down and away, and Camphausen will move up on a wild pitch. So Camphausen to third, now 90 feet away, and all of a sudden that scoreless inning looking a bit more precarious here for Decker Jacoby. It's a 1-1 count with 2 away on Carinci. And he turns on an inside pitch and fouls it off, 1-2. Carinci, 10 runs batted in on the year. He's played in 18 games. He's made 17 starts. Trying to drive in the 8th run of the game for the Spartans. Here's the 1-2. And the fastball stays high, 2-2. It is a beautiful sunny day, and it's only going to get warmer as the day goes along today. The 2-2 comes. Carinci swings, grounds that one up towards the middle, and unable to get to is the shortstop. It'll be an infield hit for Carinci. Camphausen scores from third, and the Spartans' lead is now 8-0.
Baseman number 2, Franco Alonso.
So now Franco Alonso at the plate. And again, we'll see if Carinci's running here with 2 outs to get into scoring position. Carinci with a stolen base already today. First pitch swinging, hit into shallow right. Should end the inning. Coming in right field is Freed, and he puts it away for the out. And that will end the 4th. So Case Western Reserve adds on another run with 2 outs. A double by Camphausen followed by a single from Carinci, and it's now an 8-0 lead. Due up in the 5th for Brandeis. Dunston, Reef, and Freed. 8-9-1 the order when we come back. C.J. Dunston set to lead off the inning for Brandeis. Dunston, Reef, and Freed due up. 8-9-1 for the Judges, who trail 8-0 to Case Western Reserve. The Spartans 12 hits now in 4 innings. They've scored at least 1 run in each of the first 4 innings of the game. And a swing and a miss there by Dunston, 1-1. Dunston got ahead in the count, 3-0 his first time up, but ended up striking out on a 3-2 pitch. Been a nice run so far here by Stilson in this game, who's thrown 4 shutout innings so far. Comes with a off-speed pitch on the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Up high for a ball, 2-2. You know, it's one of those things that it doesn't necessarily seem glamorous if you're Stilson being the 4th starter for the team in these 4-game series, but the pitchers who take on this role well, as that ball hit in the air, shallow left and down for a base hit for Dunston. It's his 2nd hit of the series, and he's now 1 for 2 today. The pitchers who really embrace that role as a 4th starter, those are the guys who, you know, really provide a boost for the team. You know, it's an important role because on, you know, you're closing out, you're starting a game. The 4th game counts as much as the 1st game does. Called strike, and it's 0-1. But typically you get to this point in a series and your bullpen's a little worn down. You've thrown them some amount of innings through the first 3 games over the previous 2 days, and getting out there, especially early in the day, being able to pitch effectively, being able to eat up innings. I mean, this is a huge role for this team in closing out these series, especially as the Spartans look to win the UAA championship potentially this season. That one fouled off Jack Anderson, the catcher. And maybe some slight concern here for Jack as Matt Englander coming out to have a look. Also, Spencer Furlick, the trainer. I think Jack saying he's okay. Jack could have his left arm fall off, and I think he'd try to stay in the game knowing him. But appears to be okay right now, and play will continue after a brief stop. Evan Reef at the plate. Reef is 1 for 1 with a base hit, now hitting a 133 on the year. And that one well up and out, gets away. And the wild pitch will allow Dunston to move into scoring position with nobody out. Brandeis has had some chances in this game already. In the third inning, they had runners at second and third with one out. Could not get the run across. They had a runner at second with nobody out after a leadoff double by King in the fourth. Could not get the run across. And now runner at second and nobody out again here in the fifth. Stilson gets that one inside on Reef, who fouls it off to stay alive. Reef has done a good job fighting off some pitches against Stilson so far in this at-bat after an infield single in his first trip to the plate. Here's the 2-2. And it stays up high, 3-2, full count. Three-two pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss, strike three. And Reef down swinging. Fifth strikeout of the game for Stilson. And with the top of the order coming up, Jack Anderson will trot out to have a talk with Stilson. Fried doubled to left center field in his last at bat. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He's also flown out to center. I think Anderson, knowing that one of the better hitters in the Brandeis lineup is coming up to the plate here, wants to just have a talk with Stilson, settle him in a little bit on the mound with a runner in scoring position. It may be a situation also where, although again, they don't use signs anymore, it's that pitch comm system that the Spartans use, so you're not really worried about the runner at second stealing your signs. As that's a called strike, 0-1 on Fried. Good breaking ball to start things off. See if Stilson comes with another breaking ball here. Maybe that's what Anderson wanted to talk to him about. That's a fastball outside corner fouled off. And it's 0-2. So breaking ball outside corner for a strike. Fastball outside corner fouled off. Do you stick with that outside pitch, maybe another breaking ball, or do you try to jam Fried inside here? Here's the 0-2. Fastball, and that finds the outside corner, called strike three. That's just a good piece of pitching right there. And I imagine the plan was to, when they got together, they said, let's keep the ball on that outside portion of the plate against Fried. And they did so successfully. And what really the plan, the genius of the plan in that situation was, and the way that Stilson pitched him, is that by getting ahead in the count and executing, getting ahead 0-2, it allows you to sneak that fastball by him when he's expecting a curve with an 0-2 count. DiCenzo takes a called strike, and it's now 0-1, and a chance for Stilson to work through another inning here. DiCenzo 0 for 2, reached base on an error in the first, struck out swinging in the third. Here's the 0-1. And the breaking ball in the dirt. Actually, it wasn't in the dirt, just ticked off of Anderson's glove, and that'll allow the runner to move up. Dunston, with a good walking lead anyway, will move up on the pass ball. And now runner at third and 2 away, a 1-1 count on DiCenzo. Spartans leading 8-0. We're in the top of the 5th inning. Brandeis batting. Here's the 1-1. And a line drive, but right at Alonso, the second baseman, who puts it away for the out, and that ends the inning. So once again, Stilson does a good job stranding the base runners there. And we will move along to the bottom of the 5th. The Spartans coming up to bat. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for Case Western Reserve. Smith, Arterburn, and Andreyko due up when we come back. Jay Smith set to lead things off here for the Spartans, now hitting at an even 200 on the season after an RBI double in his last at-bat deep into right center field. And he takes the first pitch outside for a ball from Decker Jacoby, 1-0. Decker Jacoby now with 84 pitches, including the ball to start the inning. Called strike, and it's 1-1. Again, Brandeis' bullpen should be in fairly good shape today as well. They only have used 4 pitchers out of the bullpen all weekend. Swing and a miss there by Smith, and it's 1-2. Both teams really not having to go deep into their bullpens this weekend. It's another foul. And Smith stays alive. 1-2 still the count. The Spartans have used a total of 6 pitchers. Marley threw the complete game on Friday. In the first game yesterday, Archer Stankowski started, pitched 6 scoreless innings. Zach Barnes followed with 3 scoreless out of the bullpen. 2-2 now the count on Smith. And then in the second game, it was Quinn Saunders, Jackson Brewer, and Tyler Horvath. 2-2. Foul back. Count stays at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Smith down swinging. Decker Jacoby gets his 6th strikeout of the game. And there's 1 out in the 5th now for Nate Arterburn, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored in the 3rd. Arterburn now hitting at .257. That was his 12th run scored this season. He sent one the opposite way through the right side of the infield as Arterburn swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Swing and a miss again, 0-2. And that's strike 3. The ball gets away from the catcher. The throw to first, or what will they say? Yeah, they'll call him out there. So I guess they'll call in. I don't know if that was interference. Either way, it's an out on the play. And so back-to-back strikeouts, now 7 in the game for Decker Jacoby. And back to the top of the order with Logan Andreyko coming up. Andreyko 2 for 3 in the game with a pair of base hits. And he swings and he'll have his third hit of the game, grounding one through the right side. So for the second time today, Andreyko jumps on a first pitch in the at-bat and singles through the right side of the infield. And there'll be a runner on for Jack Anderson with 2 away in the inning. Anderson 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. And collected the 200th hit of his career back in the first inning. And a ground ball, and that's through for a base hit for Anderson. So the third hit of the game for Jack Anderson, the 202nd of his career. And it's now first and second with 2 away for James Powers. Powers 2 for 3 in the game with a single and a double. And again, just mentioning it again, the top of this order, after really not being very productive through the first 3 games of the series, has broken out here in Game 4 as Powers takes ball 1. And Draco, Anderson, and Powers now a combined 8 for 11 in this game. Another one outside. It's 2-0. 8 for 11, and they have driven in 6 runs. So that'll do it. 2-0 on the way to Powers. Chance to drive in another one here. The pitcher will look back at second base. Decker Jacoby keeping the runners close. He may be coming up towards the end of his day. It's about to throw his 98th pitch of the game here. Powers awaits it. It's 2-0 the count. And he takes that in the dirt. Ball 3, 3-0. Now to Powers. Runners at first and second. A walk here would load him up for Nick Harms. And Powers, knowing that, patient at the plate, takes strike 1. And it's now a 3-1 count. See if Powers remains patient here as he awaits the 3-1 pitch. And he chops it high towards second base, stepping on the bag. For the out is the shortstop Chafin, and that'll end the inning. So the Spartans, for the first time today, don't score in an inning, and we'll move along into the 6th. It's 8-0, Case Western Reserve leading when we come back. Back-to-back hits to start the inning for Eddie Zahner and Brian King. 2 on, nobody out against Stilson here. In the 6th inning for the Judges. First pitch swinging. Connor Crowley, the center fielder, fouls it back, and it's 0-1. Defensive changes for the Spartans to begin the inning. Logan Andraco moves to left field. Taking over in center is Connor Stevenson. Stevenson will bat in Jay Smith's spot in the lineup, the 8th spot in the order. That one sails high, and it's 1-1. There is action in the Spartan bullpen. That's Austin McGowan, who has begun to warm. The 1-1. And it's fouled back 1-2. So 2 straight hits for Brandeis, and once again the Judges are threatening here. Again, they've had a bunch of guys on base, but it's been a really good job by Stilson to keep those guys from scoring. See if he can get another strikeout here. That one chopped out in front of the mound. Stilson with it. His only play is to first, where he gets the out. Both runners move up. It's effectively a sacrifice bunt, even though it doesn't go in the books as that. And now runners at second and third and 1 away for Henry Aaronwald, the designated hitter. Aaronwald 0 for 2 in the game. A strikeout looking, a ground out to second. And they'll actually pinch hit here. So this will be Patrick Schultz checking into the game.
Now hitting for the Judges, number 37, Patrick Schultz.
So a pinch hit appearance for Patrick Schultz. Schultz looking for his first hit of the year. He's 0 for 9 on the season. The lefty batting against Stilson takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Schultz, a first year out of Milton, Massachusetts. Fastball outside, 1-1. He's appeared in 7 games off the bench, drawn 2 walks, struck out twice. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And he sprays it foul, 1-2. Be another big strikeout if Stilson can get it. Stilson's had a bit of a knack for the timely strikeout at times this season. See if he can get one again here. King at second, Zahner at third, 1 away, 8-0 Spartans. Here's the 1-2 on the way from Stilson. And the fastball in the dirt, well blocked by Anderson, who smothers that one before it could get past him, keeping the runners at second and third as the count evens 2-2 on Schultz. Another 2-2 pitch wasted by Schultz. Count stays at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout for Stilson. And there are 2 gone now, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Matt Chafin. Chafin 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out. He's now hitting at 175 on the year. Driven in 4 runs, and that may be it for Stilson here, who hits 80 pitches. Head coach Matt Englander coming out. And we will get a pitching change here as the Spartans will go to their bullpen. So Stilson done after 5 2/3 scoreless innings. He'll have 2 runners on his account still on the base paths, and it'll be up to Austin McGowan to try to take care of them when we come back. 8-0, Case Western Reserve leading. Welcome back as Case Western Reserve will turn to sophomore Austin McGowan here. We'll see his first action of the weekend out of the bullpen. It's been up and down this year for McGowan, who's had some good appearances but has struggled as well at times. And he delivers a first pitch fastball for a strike 0-1. Again, for McGowan, as he'll face Chafin here with 2 in scoring position and 2 away in the 6th. The Spartans leading 8-0. Making his 10th appearance of the season, he's got an ERA of 9.95. There's that good curve, and that's the pitch when he is locating it. It's near unhittable. It is a very good curveball, but he's got to locate it, and that's been the issue at times this season. He's heading the count 0-2. See if he rips off another curve here. Nope, fastball down and away. Good job by Anderson to get to that one. And the count goes to 1-2. McGowan through 12 2/3 innings this season has given up 17 hits in 12 walks, a .333 opponent's batting average. He struck out 15. Here's the 1-2. There's the curve, and he freezes Chafin with it, and that's strike 3. And so that'll end the inning. Brandeis, another promising opportunity. They get the first 2 runners on in the 6th, but McGowan gets the strikeout to end it, and we'll move into the bottom of the 6th inning. The Spartans leading 8-0. Harms, Camphausen, and Carinci due up when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for Brandeis will be Kyle Murray. Will be making his 2nd appearance of the weekend. Murray threw a scoreless inning, didn't allow a hit, struck out 1 in the first game of the series. That on Friday afternoon, so he'll get his 2nd appearance against the Spartans here. It'll be Murray to face Harms, Camphausen, and Carinci. 4, 5, and 6 in the lineup. On the season, Murray making his 8th appearance. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 15 as he delivers ball 1, 1-0. 6 innings pitched. He's given up just 5 hits, but has added 9 walks to that. Struck out 8, allowed 10 runs. Opponents hitting .208 against him. Harms fouls that one back, and the count evens up at 1-1 on Nick, who is the only Spartan starter yet to reach base today. He is 0 for 3 with 3 groundouts, batting at .307 now on the year. Here's the 1-1. And that ball grounded hard towards second. Diving stop by DiVincenzo, who is leaning the wrong way on that. And he's able to throw Harms out as Harms grounds out for the 4th straight at bat. And now Dane Camphausen will come to the plate.
Now batting number 40, the first baseman, Dane Camphausen.
Camphausen 1 for 2 on the day with a double and a run scored his last time up. He sent a ball deep into the right center field gap his last time up. He's also walked and struck out today. First pitch is in the dirt, taken for a ball, and it's 1-0. And he checks his swing, can't hold up. Called strike, 1-2. Good curveball there by Murray. Camphausen, 9 home runs, 36 runs batted in this year. Hits that one in the air, down the right field line, pretty deep. And it lands off the base of the wall, and Camphausen will trot into second with his second double of the game. Just a high fly ball for Camphausen. Didn't miss a home run by much, but it ends up being a double. He's now in scoring position for Zach Carinci. And, you know, the Spartans right now have things under control. It's 8-0. So certainly an opportunity for, you know, the team to get the win here. But if you add on 2 runs, you could be putting Brandeis' back against the wall. With the 10-run rule in effect for conference games, 2 runs here would mean Brandeis would need a score in the top of the 7th in order to prolong the game. Again, if a team is leading in UAA play by 10 or more runs after 7 innings, or 6.5 with the home team leading, then the game ends early. Here's the 0-1 to Carinci, who already has an RBI single to his name. He sends that one in the air, right field, and it drops for a base hit. Carinci turns the corner, but he'll stop at first. Camphausen played that conservatively, and rightfully so, making sure it landed in there. So it's now first and third for Franco Alonso, who's 1 for 3 in the game with a single, a strikeout, and a fly out. Again, 8-0 Case Western Reserve. First pitch on the way. And a breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Connor Stevenson out on deck. He'll get a chance for his first at bat of the game up next. The 0-1 to Alonso. An RBI opportunity. And he'll send that one foul. You know, it's an interesting situation here if you're Coach Englander, and so far no signs of Carinci running yet, but you know, you kind of have the question, do you run here, try to set up a early ending to the game potentially? So that one skips in the dirt. Carinci will move up, and Camphausen slides in headfirst into home plate. And it's now a 9-0 lead for the Spartans on the wild pitch. Now 1-2 on Alonso, and a base hit here would give the Spartans a 10-run lead. But, you know, again, you kind of have to make a decision. Either way makes sense, I guess. If you're a head coach, you know, typically it's against baseball etiquette to run in that situation. The ball hit to third, and the throw wild by the shortstop, and everyone is safe. So not a base hit there. That is a fielder's choice to short that Carinci moves up on an error on. So no hit. That's the first error of the game for Brandeis. Still 16 hits for the Spartans. And now Connor Stevenson will be the batter with runners on the corners and 1 away. And Stevenson lifts that in the air deep towards left field. That one's way back at the wall, and it's off the base of the wall. Coming in to score is Carinci. It'll be a long single for Connor Stevenson, who probably just hit the furthest ball of his career. and somehow ends up with a single on it, and he'll celebrate at first base. It does go as an RBI for Stevenson. And it's now 10-0 Spartans. So the Spartans now with that 10-run lead, and Brandeis will have to score at least one now in the bottom of the inning. As Nate Arterburn takes that up high for a ball, 1-0. If they want to stretch this game past the top of the seventh. Arterburn hits that in the air, right field, but right at Freed, who puts it away for the out, tagging from second. And moving up to third is Alonso on the fly out. Second out of the inning. And now Logan Andreyko will be the batter. Andreyko having himself a nice day at the plate. He's 3 for 4. He's scored a run, driven in 2. All 3 of his hits have been singles. And again, mention that Logan has been struggling a little at the plate lately, but maybe showing some signs today of coming out of that slump. He's swung it well. Seen him jump on 2 first pitches in the game for base hits. He takes that one up high for a ball. Now the 1-0 on the way. 2-0. Again, Brandeis will need to score at least 1 run in the top of the 7th. Otherwise, the game will end after 7. Here's the 2-0. Low, 3-0. And that gets away from the pitcher. No one will move up. Three and 0 count here. The bases would be loaded with a walk for Jack Anderson, who waits out on deck. We'll see how aggressive Andreyko is. 3-0 with a 10-0 lead. And he takes a letter high strike. It's 3-1. Spartans appear to be cruising towards a series sweep here. We'll need to get at least 3 more outs to do so, but seem to have this one under control. It's 10-0 now. And the breaking ball for a called strike. It's 3-2. So a full count. Stevenson, who's got good speed at first, will get the early start with a 3-2 pitch and 2 away. He should be able to score on a ball hit into the gap. Stevenson probably the fastest guy on the team. Here's the 3-2. Stevenson goes, and it stays up high, ball 4. So Andreyko draws the walk. It's bases loaded now for Jack Anderson. And Anderson, 3 for 4 in the game today, and I believe that's going to be it for Murray. And so we will get a call of the bullpen here with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the 6th. 10-0 the score. Spartans leading. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, Jack Anderson, a chance to really put his stamp on this game, will bat here with the bases loaded and 2 away. New pitcher on the mound is Jansen Landon. And the first pitch misses inside, 0-1. 1-0, excuse me. Landon pitched in the opening game of this series as well, as that one skips away. Good job by Dunston, the catcher, to field it cleanly. He went an inning, gave up a hit, walked 3, but did not allow a run. The 2-0 on the way. Down low, 3-0, and a walk here would force across a run, make it 11-0. And a ground ball to short. Anderson swinging 3-0. Throw to first is wild, and it gets away, and that will allow the inning to continue. 2 runs come across. It'll be an error, no hit on the play. Again, 2-run score. No RBIs for Anderson on that one. And it's now 12-0. Second error of the game for Brandeis. And the batter at the plate now is James Powers with first base open and 2 more in scoring position. Powers takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. Powers, the 9th batter of the inning for the Spartans. Now the 0-1. Foul back. It's an 0-2 count at the plate. Here's the 0-2 on the way from Landon, trying to get through the inning. And that one swung on. Chopper it towards first. Zahner with it. Will jog it to the bag himself, and that ends the frame. But the Spartans add on 4 in the inning and will now head to the 7th. And a chance to close it out early. It's a 12-0 lead for Case Western Reserve. 2 up for Brandeis. They'll need 3 runs to keep the game going. Dunston, Reef, and Freed when we come back. The potential last chance here for Brandeis as the Judges trailing 12-0. Austin McGowan on the mound trying to finish this one off. Working with a 12-0 lead, Brandeis will need 3 to force another inning. C.J. Dunston leading the inning off, fouls it off, and it's 0-1. So the Spartans looking for win number 21 on the season, which would certainly put them in prime position down the stretch here to earn an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. It's been a great season so far for Case Western Reserve. 13 regular season games left after today. But the Spartans certainly seem to be on a path potentially to make their second straight postseason appearance. Here's the 1-2. Down and away for a ball. It's 2-2. Austin McGowan trying to finish things off here against Brandeis. He's got the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. Fastball fouled off by Dunston, and the count stays at 2-2. Dunston, a base hit his last time up. He's 1 for 2 in the game. Here's the 1-2 from McGowan. And couldn't quite control that curve, and the count goes to 3-2. Spartans would also go to 7-1 in UAA play halfway through their schedule as that one chopped over to the third. Gloved by Powers, his throw across the diamond and plenty of time to get Dunston for the out, and there's one gone here in the 7th. That'll bring Evan Reef to the plate. Reef 1 for 2 with a single back in the 3rd inning. And a called strike. 0-1 on Reef. Fastball down and in. It's 1-1. Yeah, McGowan's got the pitches to be very successful. He's got a good velocity fastball, that real hammer curve that he could throw. That one missed a little high, 2-1. But consistently locating those pitches is going to be the difference between success and lack of success for him over his career. That one fouled off, and the count evens 2-2 on Reef. And the count goes full, 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Brandeis down to their final out now. So Reef down swinging back to the top of the order, and that will bring Jake Freed to the plate. Freed, the last chance here for the Judges to extend the game. Freed 1 for 3 in the game, a double in the 3rd. He's also flown out and struck out looking. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. McGowan has retired all 4 batters he's faced in the game so far. The Spartans looking for their second shutout of the series. The 0-1 on the way. Curveball stays up high. It's 1-1. Down and in, 2-1. 2-1 pitch. McGowan delivers. Swing and a miss. 2-2, and Brandeis down to their final strike. McGowan a pitch away from ending it. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll do it as Austin McGowan retires all 4 batters he faces in the game. And the Spartans close out a 12-0 win in 7 innings over Brandeis and a 4-game sweep over the Judges in the weekend series. So Case Western Reserve with the sweep sends Brandeis to 4-17 on the season, while the Spartans improve to 21-6. In UAA play, Brandeis drops to 0-4 on the year. The Spartans now again halfway through their UAA schedule are 7-1. Tyler Stilson gets the win. He's now 4-0 on the season. No save in the game. Losing pitcher was the starter, Sean Decker Jacoby. He will drop to 1-5 with the loss. And the game lasted an hour and 58 minutes today over the 7 innings. Attendance at the ballpark was 85. Want to thank everyone once again for joining us today. A reminder that we'll be back with you. A big game coming up for the Spartans on the road. We won't have coverage of that one. But they'll be at Denison on Wednesday and then back here on Saturday as Case Western Reserve will face Kenyon College in a doubleheader a week, again, from yesterday. Want to thank everyone for joining us again. A good weekend for Case Western Reserve. They've won 6 in a row, 4 straight here this weekend against Brandeis. And the Spartans now 21-6 on the year with 13 games left in the regular season. Have a great evening, everybody. Once again, final score, Case Western Reserve 12, Brandeis nothing. We'll see you later.